Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. 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 Jesus.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
Ruth Obozegin.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
Hello, welcome. This is Celebration TV News Desk, and I am Femi Marks. Here are the headlines. FG retains curfew, extends East lockdown by 4 weeks. Bagbo supporters unhappy is absent from voters list from Ivory Coast and from the US. US firms must hand links with TikTok and WeChat, says Trump. International flight to resume in Nigeria in weeks, says the federal government. And from sports stories, Bayern hope Champions League success can convince Ankara Alaba to stay. Please stay with us. The details come shortly. Welcome back. Now from Nigeria, federal government retains curfew will extend his lockdown by 4 weeks. The president, Muhammadu Buhari, has approved the extension of the current phase of the national response to COVID-19 by another 4 weeks. The implication is that all the guidelines put in place to curtail further spread of the virus under the second phase of the East lockdown, which started on June the 1st, will remain in force with slight modifications to address the economic, socio-political and health concerns as contained in the latest report by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The chairman of the task force, who is also the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, disclosed this at the briefing of the task force in Abuja on Thursday. Within the next 4 weeks, Mustafa said state government and authorities of the Federal Capital Territory would be mandated to enforce non-pharmaceutical measures and intensified measures such as contract tracing. The SGF said after due consideration of the recommendation, Mr. President approved the following, maintaining the current phase of the national response to COVID-19 for another 4 weeks in line with the modification reflected in the report. He approved the partnering state and local government to improve community sensitization and engagement to the COVID-19 response and mandating state authorities and the FCT to enforce non-pharmaceutical guidelines, primarily the use of face masks in public appearances and places. He said recommendations made to the president had been born out of diligent evaluation of the situation in Nigeria, as well as regional and global experiences. Mustafa said the major changes being proposed were aimed at achieving the gradual reopening of the international air flight within established parameters, reopening of rail transport within established parameters, granting permission to exit classes to resume ahead of examinations, allowing civil servants from grade level 12 to resume work, and opening recreational centers and parks for supervised exercises. Giving further details on the modified guidelines, the PTF National Coordinator Dr. Sonny Aliyu said the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew would remain in place nationwide, as bars, gyms and cinemas will remain closed. Aliyu said, however, schools must comply with the 6 recommended steps and required measures issued by the Federal Ministry of Education, and which is available online. The National Coordinator said the National Youth Service Corps had been advised to start planning ahead of resumption in future phases, but not within current phase of the response. He noted that the while banks had been advised to begin full operations, they were advised to reduce banking hall occupancy by customers to 50% and occupancy of their offices to 75%. Aliyu said the Nigeria Center for Disease Control was also working towards deploying technology to make results of COVID-19 tests available online. He said the NCDC will continue to work, and he said he's sure with NCC, Nigeria Communication Commission, and other parts of the IT industry. A very good example is working towards people assessing the results online. You have a COVID test done, you no longer have to rely on being phoned. It will allow persons to just log in, and you will be given a number through your phone, and you can access your own results. Aliyu again ruled out COVID-19 testing for students and school children as precautions to resume classes. Also, Mustafa said 8,000 Nigerians have so far been evacuated from abroad since the outbreak of coronavirus. From another story still from Nigeria, Kano State, precisely, Ganduje's aid under fire for allegedly dumping 360 clerics. Duping 360 clerics, pardon me. The special advisor on religious affairs to Governor Abdullahi Ganduje Ali Baba Fagay is in trouble for allegedly defrauding 360 Islamic clerics that participated in a special prayer last week in Kano against the COVID-19 pandemic. Fagay was alleged to have unilaterally slashed the 50,000 naira allowance approved by the governor for each cleric that participated in the prayer. The State Commissioner for Religious Affairs, Mohammed Baba Impossible, said the governor had directed that any ulama that attended the prayer should be given 50,000 naira and that no single kobo should be deducted. However, reacting to the allegation, Fagay said the deduction was done to accommodate more clerics who attended the prayers. They want the money to go around, so more ulamas or clerics we benefit from the kind gesture, even though the governor was not aware of this development. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission, Muhui Remigado, on Thursday said it had commenced investigations on petition filed against the governor's aid by some aggrieved individuals. More stories still. Court cases stopped me from forming cabinet, says Governor Diri. The governor of Bayelsa State, Nigeria, Mr. Doye Diri, on Thursday said he did not form his cabinet since February 14 when he was sworn in because of litigation challenging his emergence as a governor. Diri spoke during his first meeting with the State Council of traditional rulers at the Secretariat in Yanugwa. A statement by his acting chief press secretary, Mr. Daniel Alabro, said the governor said he would announce the nominees for the State Executive Council next week. Diri, in a statement, said he was mindful of the expectation of the people concerning the constitution of his cabinet, but sought their patience. Diri urged them to work closely with his administration in promoting peace and stability in their communities, describing them as community leaders close to the people. Still coming from around Africa now to Ivory Coast, Gbagbo supporters unhappy. He is absent from voters' list. Tensions were high Thursday in Cocody as Ivorian police patrolled the streets of Abidjan after breaking up pro-Gbagbo demonstrations, unhappy that the name of the leader had been removed from the electoral list. Earlier that same morning, the access to the Boulevard Trailer leading to the headquarters of the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, was closed by the police. The same goes for the road to the Abidjan Zoo, which links the electoral institution. The determined supporters of Laurent Gbagbo from the hard wing of the Ivorian Popular Front, FPI, had set up road barricades to disrupt traffic and were dispersed without major incident by security forces. 3 months before the next presidential election, Gbagbo, who was accused by the International Criminal Court, ICC, and is conditionally free in Brussels, applied for the passport to return to Côte d'Ivoire. The name of the former Ivorian head of state does not appear on the electoral roll, as he is still waiting for his passport to be issued due to a 20-year prison sentence by the Ivorian court. His supporters in Abidjan opposed the removal of his name from the voters list, demonstrated today in Abidjan. And still from around Africa, Mauritanian Prime Minister replaced amid investigation into alleged corruption. Mauritanian President Mohamed Ould Cheikh El Ghazouani was replaced as Prime Minister following the resignation of Ismail Ould Beda Ould Cheikh Sidia. The move comes after prosecutors received a key report investigating the activities of former head of state Mohamed Ould Abdelaziz. Mohamed Ould Abdelaziz Bilal, a former political advisor and minister in the era before Abdelaziz replaces Sidia. He has been tasked with forming a new government following the resignation of Sidia's entire administration. Before his appointment as Prime Minister in August 2019, Sidia had served between 2009 and 2014 as Minister of Housing and Employment under Aziz. Prosecutors in the capital, Nouakchott Court, had announced on Wednesday that they had received a report by a 9-member commission tasked with investigating aspects of Aziz's 2008 to 2019 presidency. Matters discussed in the parliamentary reports include the handling of oil revenues, the sales of state-owned properties in Nouakchott, the activities of Chinese fishing company Puli Dong, and the liquidation of a state-owned firm that supplied food products. Aziz, a former army general, ignored a summons from the committee last month to explain the issues of state, according to a parliamentary official. Mauritanian MPs adopted a law at the end of July establishing a High Court of Justice to try the head of state and the ministers in cases of high treason. The court is due to be set up in coming month. President Ghazouani succeeded Aziz in August last year. He had previously served under him as Chief of Staff and Defense Minister. Aziz first came to power in a military coup in 2008, deposing then President Sidi Ould Cheikh Abdullah. Aziz went on to win elections in 2009 and in 2014. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll give you stories from the United States and also from Asia. Please stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. And Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth. Fight for glory. Desire for victory.
I am Lizzie Johnson Suleiman, and I want to use this time out to invite all the women watching me right now. It's our International Women Conference again. I know you will not want to miss this. Regardless of what is happening, we are trusting God that God is set to do something great in our midst.
Power! Happy sounds! 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 Power!
The theme for this conference this year is No More Tears, and the date is on the 12th, the 13th and 14th of August. God's servant Apostle Johnson Suleiman will be with us, ministering greatly, and God using him to reach out to us again. So you don't want to miss this. Just get set, prepare yourself to be in this meeting.
Touch! 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 Touch!
It's a time of revival. It's a time of revitalization. It's a time to get ourselves hooked up again, connected again to the supernatural, and you see what God will do in your life. The Lord bless you.
Live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Auchi, Dove State, Nigeria. International Women Conference 2020.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mars.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. And Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk.
And welcome back now from the United States. Trump says U.S. firms must have links with TikTok and WeChat. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed executive orders targeting TikTok and WeChat, two of China's biggest apps. Under the two orders, U.S. firms must stop doing business with the companies within 45 days. Mr. Trump says he acted to protect our national security. It is a major escalation in Washington. Washington's standoff with Beijing over its power in global technology. The announcement comes as Microsoft is in talks to buy TikTok ahead of the 15th September deadline set by Mr. Trump. The executive order against the short video sharing platform TikTok, owned by Chinese firm ByteDance, and the messaging service WeChat, owned by the Tencent conglomerate, is the latest measure in an increasingly broad Trump administration campaign against China. Mr. Trump's order are likely to be liable to legal challenges anyway, analyst says. Also from Asia, Beirut's explosion, anti-government protests break out in city. Protesters clashed with Lebanese security forces at anti-government demonstrations in Beirut on Thursday. Officers deployed tear gas on dozens of people near parliament. Demonstrators were angered by Tuesday's devastating blast, which officials say was caused by 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate stored unsafely since 2013. Many in Lebanon say government negligence led to the explosion, which killed at least 137 people and injured about 5,000 others. The explosion destroyed entire district in the capital, with homes and businesses reduced to rubble. Dozens of people are still unaccounted for. The state news agency says 16 people have been taken into custody as part of an investigation announced by the government this week. since the disaster. 2 officials have resigned. MP Marwan Ahmad stepped down on Wednesday, while Lebanon's ambassador to Jordan, Tracy Chamon, stepped down on Thursday, saying the catastrophe showed the need for a change in leadership. And now to business news. In Nigeria, international flight to resume in weeks, says the federal government. The federal government on Thursday said the airport would be reopened to international flights in weeks and not in months. When international flights eventually resume, passengers are expected to arrive at the airport 3 hours before their flights. The government said the prolonged ban on international travel was not punitive, but mainly to keep Nigerians across the country safe from the spread of COVID-19. The Minister of Aviation, Adi Sirika, disclosed this in Abuja while answering questions at the briefing of Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. He said the question about the reopening of the airport, he will like to use this medium to reiterate and to be consistent with what I've been saying. He wants people to understand that this is not purely an aviation function. It also has to do with your health, and is so huge that it made Mr. President in his wisdom to set up the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. This is the interest. This is in the interest of the nation, says the minister. The minister said operators in the civil aviation sector had wanted to open the airport a long time ago in order to return to business and halt loss of revenue. Sirika said the ban on international flight had warranted the mass sacking of workers in the aviation sector and non-payment of salaries by airlines. He said they really want to open, but they can open alone for within the space where they operate. They have got all kinds of people there in the airport. Still on business story, Rep. Simon Adeosun amid Farouk over 1.7 trillion naira NSIP fund. The House of Representatives summoned the former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, the incumbent Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, to account for a total sum of 1.7 trillion naira appropriated for the implementation of the National Social Investment Programs from 2016 to September 2019. The House Committee on Public Accounts also summoned the incumbent and former permanent secretaries and desk officers involved in the implementation of the NSIPs in both the ministries and the National Social Investment Office. The chairman of the committee, Mr. Wale Oke, issued the summons at an investigative hearing on the audit queries on the NSIPs by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, alleged that the Special Assistant to the President on Home School Feeding Program, Mr. Dotun Adebayo, and Auto Desk Officer provided misleading information on the NSIP account domicile with the Central Bank of Nigeria. In his presentation, the Minister of State for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mr. Clem Agbo, however, disclosed that out of the 1.7 trillion naira appropriated for the NSIPs within the 4-year period, only 619.142 billion naira was released and 560.914 billion naira utilized, adding that the balance of 58.227 billion naira was handed over to the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. A breakdown of the fund processed by the release by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning showed that 332.088 billion naira was released for government enterprise and empowerment program, 20.59 billion naira for conditional cash transfer, and 149.965 billion naira for homegrown school feeding program, while 355.846 billion naira for job creation units and 2.428 billion naira was released for social investment program. I was said proud to the handing over to the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development request for payment for all types of expenditures and respect of any of the programs of NSIP emanated from the National Social Investment Office situated under the office of the Vice President. OK, however, expressed displeasure over the failure by other desk officers to provide the procurement records. Agba, however, stated that he was not finance minister between 2016 and 2017. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll give you details and sports stories. Please don't go away.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds. Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1, and Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. There is a door set before us to unlock for divine access.
And sumda inko pele entire ozozo.
It's time to ask, seek, knock.
Hello, hello,
Holy Ghost Conference 2020, Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Theme, it is written. Date, 1st through 6th September 2020 by 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries headquarters, Auchi, State, Nigeria. Holy Ghost Conference 2020. No man can stop you.
Voici une fois de plus notre conférence internationale de la femme. Le thème de cette conférence c'est « Plus jamais de l'art ». La date c'est le 12, le 13 et 14 août 2020. Le serviteur de Dieu, l'apôtre Johnson Suleiman, rendra ministère avec puissance et votre vie ne sera plus jamais la même. Dieu nous a été fidèle. Je profite de cette occasion pour inviter toutes les familles qui me regardent maintenant. C'est le moment de réveil. Il est temps d'être reconnecté au surnaturel. En direct au centre d'adoration international d'Omega Fire Ministries à Auchi, au Nigeria.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds. Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1, and Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome back now to Sports Stories. Bayern hope Champions League success and convince Alcantara to stay. Bayern Munich Open Champions League success can convince Thiago Alcantara and David Alaba, who was stalling over extensions to stay. Bayern owes Chelsea at Munich Allianz Arena on Saturday in the last 16 second leg of the Champions League, holding a 3-0 lead after hammering the Blues in London in February when Serge Gnabry scored twice in gala display. Since then, Bayern have secured an 8th straight Bundesliga title and lifted the German Cup, putting them on course for the treble, having won all 11 games post-lockdown. Chelsea without wingers Christian Pulisic, who injured his hamstring in the FA Cup against Arsenal, and Pedro, who underwent shoulder surgery after being stretchered off at Wembley. Blues keeper Cesar Azpilicueta is also expected to miss the Munich match after his hamstring injury added to Chelsea's list of wounded. Bayern's personnel concerns are of a different nature, as Alcantara, who has been linked to Liverpool and Alaba, both have one year left on their contract and are stalling over talks. Like senior club bosses, forward Thomas Muller hopes Champions League success can convince them to stay. From another sports story, Gattuso highs Barca shock and roller coaster Napoli debut season. Gennaro Gattuso's reign as Napoli coach may have started amid turmoil, but the former Italy international has put the Serie A club on the path towards a potential Champions League triumph against Barcelona. The Southern Italian ahead for the Camp Nou on Saturday with the first ever Champions League quarter-final bets beckoning. They certainly want to write an important page in their history, saves Gattuso, of a feat which not even Argentine legend Diego Maradona managed to achieve with the club. Both sides are 1-1 after the last 16 first leg in the Sao Paulo Stadium in February. But Lionel Messi's Spaniards have not beaten at home in the Champions League in 7 years, as they target a 13th consecutive quarter-final bet. Barcelona finished second in Liga, while Napoli was 7th in Serie A, but haven't secured an Europa League spot thanks to the Italian Cup victory. Gattuso admitted his head was already on Barcelona as his side wrapped up their league season with a 3-1 win over Lazio last week. They will play on a high-level stage and they want to be worthy of it, he said. They know that if they want to compete against Barcelona, they will have to take risks. The big question will be how to stop 6-time Ballon d'Or winner Messi, a problem which former AC Milan midfielder Gattuso would have happily tackled as a player. And that's all we have for you today from News from Celebration TV News Desk. In case you missed the stories, here are the headlines again. From Nigeria, federal government retains curfew, extended its lockdown by 4 weeks. From the Ivory Coast in Africa, Gbagbo supporters unhappy is absent from voters list. And from United States, Trump, said U.S. firms must end links with TikTok and WeChat. And from Nigeria again, international flight to resume in weeks, says federal government. And finally on sport, Bayern hope Champions League success can convince Alcantara Halaba to stay. Thanks for staying to Celebration TV. On your screen right now, it's the photo of the day. They say, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud, says Maya Angelou. I'll take that again. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud, says Maya Angelou. You can join the conversation and lend your opinion on that photo of the day, that quote of the day, on our Facebook platform, on Celebration TV, on Instagram. It is Celebration TV, on YouTube it is www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. On Twitter it is @MyCelebration TV. Don't forget that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all of us. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a top leader, opinion molder, character builder, a professional, as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part and do it with all diligence. Thanks for staying tuned to Celebration TV News Desk. I am Femi Marks, and bye for now.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by
feel the pain of committing a gross of history. The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus,